how does BK polyomavirus present, as to what are the clinical stages that we have discussed. Let us discuss in a bit more details. As I told you, it is first the viruria, then you have the viremia, and then it is followed by the BK polyomavirus nephropathy. So it is a BK polyomavirus associated nephropathy. This is the full form of BKPYAN. Now, after few weeks of viremia usually happen, and after 1 to 2 weeks of viremia, nephropathy results. Now, what is the exact percentage as to what proportion of viruria progress to viremia? It is very, very essential to know, not only to treat the patient but also to prognosticate the patient. So during the first year, we must understand that 25 to 30% patients of renal transplant recipients will have viruria, but out of that only 12% patients, 10 to 12% patients will progress to viremia, and out of that only 1 to 10% patients will progress to nephropathy. So for MCQ purpose, for easy memory purpose, what you can do is you can remember gross figures, that 25 year, 12 year and 6 year. So you can follow the rule of half. So 25% will have viruria, 12% will have viremia, and 5 to 6% will have nephropathy. This is a very, very important statistic that is essential to remember, not only as an MCQ but also as a clinician. How does the patient present to you at each stage is very, very important to know. That is, what are the clinical features? So you need to understand that at the stage of viruria, the patient is absolutely asymptomatic. So too at the stage of viremia. That is, it is only through a preemptive screening or with a high index of suspicion due to something will you go for checking viruria and viremia. At many transplant centers, more so in the West, they have a protocol as to every 2 weekly or 3 weekly or 4 weekly, you will screen every transplant recipient for BK virus viruria in the urine and maybe viremia in the blood. Otherwise, you cannot detect it because the patient is absolutely asymptomatic. But what will the BK polyomavirus nephropathy present to you? Now, usually it can also be asymptomatic for some amount of days and weeks. But the most important symptom is the slow, progressive rise in serum creatinine. Now, we often use the word in clinical practice as to creeping rise in serum creatinine. What do I mean by that? Now, you did a renal transplant in January 2021. 15th of February 2021, the patient, when you discharged the patient in January, his creatinine was 1. Suddenly, one fine day, a patient comes to you with a creatinine of 3.5. Suddenly, the creatinine has jumped. This is probably not BK virus nephropathy. Why? Because it is a sudden acute rise, severe rise. But if you find a creeping rise, what do I mean by that? The creatinine rises by 0.1, 0.2 milligrams per deciliter per week or per few days. That is, it was 1 in January, it became 1.5 in February, it became 1.8, 1.9 in March. So you are seeing a creeping rise. It's a very slow, insidious rise. And then you know that it is probably this virus that has reactivated itself to cause nephropathy. As I told you, how to diagnose each one of them. Now, diagnosis. Now, to diagnose viruria, it is either you could do a quantitative PCR in the urine, or you could check for some special inclusion bodies and which are known as urine decoy cells, which as we shall see that what are these urine decoy cells. But we have to understand that urine decoy cells have no prognostic value of progression to viremia, and they represent high level viruria. So we must understand that there are two important points MCQ with urine decoy cells. That is, number one, no prognostic value of progression to viremia, and they represent viruria of high level. Now, why do I discussing decoy cells in details? Because let me tell you, decoy cells is one of the most favorite MCQs of not only the NEET SS but also the AIIMS. So much so that every year in the AIIMS super specialty nephrology exam, there is one or the other question from BK virus nephropathy, and inevitably it has something to do with decoy cells. That has been my observation for the last 3 years. That is the dictum. So you cannot go to the AIIMS exam without studying BK nephropathy. That is so important, because you are definitely getting one question out of it. So as I was discussing the symptomatology as to how to detect these. Now if you go for in urine examination, you will get decoy cells here. You will not get anything here. If there is a BK virus nephropathy, you can also get pyuria, that is, you can get pus cells there. You can get microscopic hematuria, and you can also get CAS, that is, you can get an active sediment in the urine if there is a BK polyomavirus nephropathy. Is it clear? This is how you have to understand that how these will present. Now what we also have to understand that what is the positive predictive value of viruria to develop a BK polymovirus nephropathy. That is, if there is a viruria